magandang explanation. So, ganun kadelikado po yung ang lingwahe na ginamit natin. Tapos yung gusto natin ma-achieve, hindi naman ba that's achievable by an advisory as I suggested earlier, Mr. President. Well, at any rate, Mr. President, we are communicating the motion communicates with the body is not yet in existence as a 19 pa tayo but talk to communicate as someone who has put motion, ang konsuelo ko lang siguro number 2 ang crisis cross Congress transfer from the 19 that's how that is now the clear and unmistakable interpretation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Duly noted and entered into the record. Senator Judge Poe, you may proceed.
While I voted no to the proposal of Senator Bato de la Rosa as amended by Senator Cayetano, remanded as opposed to dismissed, for it to be returned as opposed to be dismissed, the impeachment case. I would like to make it clear that I respect the decision of the majority and also that ang pag-release ay hindi hatol ng pagkakasala. At gaya nga ng sinabi ni Senator Linda Chaya, para sa akin, maganda kasi pagka narinig ko talaga kung anong mga argumento ng prosecution. Iba kasi pag dokumento lang ang sige at babasahin ngayon. Doon ko pa sinasabi na naniniwala ako na dapat tuloy-tuloy talaga ang pagharol nito at hindi lamang matatapos dito sa Kongreso na to. Pero nakakalito rin yung mga ibang posisyon na nagsasabi we cannot compel the next Congress to act on our motion or unleft or unfinished business or work. Kaya nga, kahit na meron tayong pinagbotohan na ganyan, there is no guarantee. I don't think it's binding to say that the 20th Congress will take this up. Yun lang yung ang sa akin din. At saka, ang sinasabi nga, di ba, the Constitution says that once a complaint is filed, kailangan 4th din na magkakaroon ng kaya para dito. So, inisip ko lang 19th Congress and what their mandate is to actually hold a trial. Ngayon, sinasabi ng ating officer or presiding officer, sinasabi ng ating presiding officer na tuloy-tuloy pa naman ang summons dito. Papadala ng summons. So, siguro ang tanong ko para malinawan, magpapadala tayo una-una, return to the House. Kung sumagot sila bukas, na may sagot na sila, tapos pinadala natin yung summons after 10 days, dapat sila sumagot, so napadala dito sa atin. Tapos sabihin ng prosecution, ng House, we don't need 5 days to prepare. We're already ready. Kunyari, after 10 days. So after 10 days from whenever. So that's still before July, still before June 30. Will we proceed with this trial, Mr. Presiding Officer?
Chair reserves the right later on to also explain his vote. The lady is in the process of explaining her vote. You may proceed.
So I guess this explanation of vote cannot be a hybrid of a question as well. But again, I would put forth that question because that's also one of the reasons why I couldn't really agree with the decision to return it to the House because these are all the other questions that I feel were not addressed by the resolution that was just passed. So that's all, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Senator Judge can make that inquiry and be responded to by the presiding officer or any member after me.
the actions taken by the impeachment court today clarify set the record straight, Mr. President. Mean that the same has been denied.
Very much like the question of Senator Judge Poe. The court can address that after all of the senator judges shall have explained their votes, so that we can set this aside already.
Yes,
Any other member who wishes to explain their vote?
thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. This representation just expects a ruling.
At the proper time, the senator judge can make a motion with respect to the published proposed calendar before the impeachment court, but no such motion is pending yet for the chair, the presiding officer, to make a ruling on. But at the proper time, we will entertain any such motions. Senator Judge Cayetano may proceed for his explanation.
Mr. President, Mr. Presiding Officer, I was just reminded that my motion to amend the motion of Senator Bato was because Senator Bongo mentioned that that is an option. So I just want to give him credit. And it happened very fast today, but between dismissal or actually dividing the House today or tomorrow, whether it should be dismissed. That's the problem with the compromise, Mr. President. No one's totally happy. But I think we have upheld our oath, be politically neutral. As I said in the written motion, Mr. President, this does not dismiss or in any manner terminate this impeachment proceeding. Now, if the House of Representatives themselves sees a constitutional defect in the articles of impeachment or decide not to pursue it the 20th Congress, we actually expedited the process. So let me stop there and thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you, our colleagues, for nairaos natin ang desisyon na to na napakahirap. Napakahirap. Akala ko po talaga bukas pa tayo mag-uusap and hindi ganito kabibigat na mga motion ng ating pag-usapan. But I did expect Senator Bato to speak dahil nagsabi siya kahapon na before the taking So I'd like to thank all of our colleagues who had cooler heads and we're able to discuss this.
Senator Judge Cayetano. Any other member who wishes to explain his or her vote? Chair would like to make of record a few words regarding the just finished vote then. The presiding officer would like to thank the members of the Senate Impeachment Court, as stated by Senator Cayetano, for being able to engage in a lively discourse that enriched not only the records of the Senate, but also the debate that is going on even beyond the halls of this chamber. Salamat po ako na nairaos natin ang unang pinagbotohan ng impeachment court. Marami pa po tayong magdadaan ng botohan bilang isang impeachment court sa mga susunod na linggo at buwan. Ngayong ika-11 o ika-20 Kongreso man, subalit nais ko ring sabihin na dun sa mga dudoso at nagdududa sa loob o sa labas man ng bulwagang ito, maliwanag ang intensyon ng Senate Impeachment Court sa katatapos lamang na botohan. Walang intensyon na i-dismiss ang kasong ito. Ang intensyon ay mabigyan ng pagkakataon ang mga prosecutors na sumagot sa ilang tinuturing mga katanungan nang hindi inaaksaya ang panahon ng korte at nang hindi pa hinuhusgahan ang bagay na ito. Ang ating pinagbotohan hindi hinusgahan na lumabag ang Kamara sa one-year ban. Hindi hinusgahan na ayaw na ng ng ika-20 Kongreso ang impeachment complaint na ito. Kaya nga po tayo magtatanong at mag-i-issue ng order. Again, with the issuance of the summons in a few minutes from now, I think it will be made clear that no such intention, that there is no such intention, and that there is every intention by this impeachment Judges Grace Poe and Francis Tolentino. The Chair, pursuant to Article 7 of the impeachment rules, which provide, upon the presentation of the articles of impeachment and the organization of the Senate, as herein above provided, a writ of summons shall be issued to the person impeached, reciting or incorporating said articles and notifying her to appear before the Senate on a day and at a place to be fixed by the Senate and named in such writ, and to file her answer to the articles of impeachment within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt thereof, to which the prosecutors may reply within a non-extendable period of 5 days therefrom, and to stand to and abide by the orders and judgments of the Senate. The court, therefore, having been organized and the articles of impeachment having been referred thereto, hereby issues the writ of summons to Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, who is directed to file her answer within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt of the summons and a copy of the complaint, pursuant to Article 7 of the impeachment. Order. What is the pleasure of Senator Tiveros?
May I seek clarification from the presiding officer?
The lady may proceed.
What is the effect, Mr. Presiding Officer, of the vote, the action taken tonight, effect on the scheduled presentation of articles tomorrow? Which was part of the approved motion last night.
The original plan that we discussed on the floor yesterday was for the House prosecutors to read the articles of impeachment before the impeachment court, before the Senate rather, which will serve as the signal for us to convene the impeachment court. However, if you recall, Senator Judge Ontiveros, that was amended and changed yesterday when we simply referred it to the Committee on Rules, which in turn served as the basis for the convening of the impeachment court, which we did earlier. The presentation of the articles of impeachment by the House Prosecution Panel, therefore, at this juncture, would be rendered moot already, given that we not only have convened the impeachment court, we also already issued summons to the respondent defendant. There would be no further action on their part that they can or may take before the court.
So, Mr. Presiding Officer, if the originally scheduled presentation of articles by the House prosecutors tomorrow is rendered moot by the action taken tonight, yung kabuuang presentation of articles ba ay mangyayari pa o hindi na mangyayari? Kung mangyayari po, kailan?
Sa pagkakaunawa po, hindi na dahil hindi na kailangan dahil pinagpasahan nga po kahapon ng Senado bilang plenaryo na ayon sa sinabi ni Senator Judge Padilla kahapon na ang pag-refer ng impeachment sa Rules Committee, yun na yun tulad ng ginawa sa mga nagdaang impeachment. Kaya nga po kanina, discharge na rin natin ang Rules Committee ni Senator Tolentino kaugnay sa pinasang impeachment rules. Senator
Salamat,
Jonathan
Mr.
Rosa.
Presiding.
Thank you, Senator Ferros.
Mr. Presiding Officer, just procedural clarification.
You may proceed, sir.
Once we decided to return the articles of impeachment to the House, am I correct to assume that technically we don't have the jurisdiction of these articles of impeachment already because we returned it? So, bakit pa natin magpapatuloy tayo sa pagbigay ng sampina sa respondent? Kung binalik natin, siguro kung mabalik nila sa atin, saka pa tayo magpapatawag ng mag-i-issue ng summons. Kasi, technically, wala na yung jurisdiction
natin. Ano ngayon ang magiging basis? Like for example, padala tayo ng sampina kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Anong attachment ilagay natin sa sampina? Articles of impeachment should be attached to the sampina. So, anong personality natin to attach na sampina? Sampina ay binalik natin sa House. So, typically, we don't have jurisdiction over the articles of impeachment. That's my humble understanding. Again, I am not a lawyer, Mr. President. Nag-iisip lang. I'm just guided by the Holy Spirit, Mr. President. To be honest, Holy Spirit is guiding me all the time. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Senator Judge Ontiveros, you are recognized now.
Presiding officer, yung kasasabing wala ng jurisdiction ang impeachment trial court na ito, yan ay pag-amin, yan ay pagsisinungaling dun sa phrase, sa pinagbotohang motion kani-kanina lang na without dismissing or terminating the complaint. Nasa sa atin na eh. Tapos ngayon pala, gumawa tayo ng aksyon para mawalan ng jurisdiction at pati ba naman yung pag-summons na i-issue ng presiding officer, pati yun ay gustong bawiin mula sa kamay ng impeachment court. So nakikita natin, Mr. President, talagang brick by brick, stone by stone, dinidismantle itong impeachment trial process at dinidismantle yung impeachment complaint. Napakalaking disservice po sa ating dapat tukunin sa ilalim ng Constitution.
Session is suspended.
Presiding officer.
justice asks questions, that is not a pronouncement of the court. That is the pronouncement or opinion or question of a justice. And to be fair to those justices, sometimes yung tanong niya baliktad ng kanyang opinion. Kasi kanya-kanyang style yan ng pagtatanong. So, the language of our motion is very clear. It's not dismissed, it's not terminated. Whatever words we use, it's very clear. Having said that, Mr. President, I did not object a while ago to the issuance of summons. One, because it's in the rules. Two, we explained it a while ago that it's not anomalous to issue it. It's just not also regular because precisely we asked that the articles be returned. But the explanation there is that when it is returned back to us, if and when it is returned back to us, what they will return is a certification and the that it did not violate the Constitution. And it will also show the factual circumstances of the filing of the first three impeachment complaints. Hindi nila pwedeng baguhin yung articles of impeachment, lalong magiging unconstitutional yon. Then you'll have to issue another summons with the amended articles. No? So, meaning, Mr. President, when we explain our vote, we give our impressions and our interpretation, but that's not the ruling of the court. And I think our motion and what we've decided today is very clear and very plain. And we just follow the letter of the motion. So it will be sent to the House of Representatives. The order will be basically a faithful reproduction of what we had on the screen. And we will wait next Congress for the 12 of us who will be here and the next 12 will be proclaimed by the COMELEC, and we will act based on yung binigay nila. So kung anuman ang sagot ng ating Vice President, we will just follow the rules that the prosecutors will have 5 days to reply, and then the rest will be up to the impeachment court and the prosecutors in the 20th Congress. That's my interpretation, Mr. President, but even my interpretation is not the ruling of the court.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Judge Cayetano. Now, acting on the earlier questions of Senator Judges Tolentino and Poe, which pertains to the calendar of the court, the understanding of the presiding officer is that Senator Judge Tolentino filed a resolution containing the proposed calendar, which has not yet been referred to the impeachment court because it is in the order of business that is yet to be read once we resume and revert back and sit as a Senate, which we will do as soon as it is over. Thereafter, we will be referring it to the impeachment court.
My third, Mr. Presiding Officer, is that there's still time for the court to address matter, action,
Perhaps not, Your Honor, because as pointed out by Senator Judge Ontiveros earlier, there may be no need for the prosecutors to do anything tomorrow, especially given the fact that the other party, the defendant, the respondent in this case, was not so notified that that would be the subject matter of the court's consideration.
So, right in, Mr. President, can the court now consider the just for the record.
Can we use the word archive after it is after it shall have been referred to the impeachment court?
The intention of this representation, Judge, Mr. President, is to have the same reflected in the records of the higher court.
Then the chair so orders that after it shall have been referred to the impeachment court, that the same shall form part of the records of the impeachment court. But that has to be done in plenary, with the Senate not acting in court.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Judge Ontiveros, you may proceed, ma'am.
Mr. Presiding Officer, I just want to respectfully correct what the good presiding officer stated earlier. this representation definitely did not say that there's
In
nothing
response-
anymore for
in res-
the prosecutors to do
In response
tomorrow
to the query
or any
of
other
the Honorable Senator Judge Ontiveros.
Yes,
So
Mr.
clarify.
President. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. It was the presiding officer who said that the presentation of articles tomorrow, as originally approved in the motion yesterday, would be rendered moot. But
Let the
that
record
is not
so
at
reflect
all
that.
my desired or ideal scenario, Mr. Presiding Officer. Salamat po.
Let the record so reflect that it was in response to the query of Senator Judge Ontiveros. Hearing is suspended. The hearing of the impeachment court on the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte is hereby adjourned to a date to be set by the presiding officer. Any objection?